Standing tall in the northeastern region of Italy are the infamous Pale Mountains of the Dolomites. This magnificent rugged mountain range welcomes locals and tourists from all over the world to a breathtaking playground of adventure. Whether you come to ski the mountains when they're dressed in white or to hike the trails when they're laced with summer sunlight, you won't be let down by the grandeur the Dolomites brings. We have 3 days to hike our hearts out here in the mountains of Italy, so let's just get right into it.
We just drove 45 minutes from our home base over in Bolzano to the cable car that'll take us up to the mountain of Cesada. Tickets are looking kind of pricey. We're a little bit nervous about it. It's 37 euros per person round trip. But I've seen incredible photos from the top, so I think we're gonna do it, enjoy the journey, and not look back on spending all the money.
Hello. Bye. Thank you, bye.
You look like a Teletubby. There's little chicken legs, they're freezing.
Okay, I was reading all these blog posts about what you should wear when you come to the Dolomites, and they were like, definitely don't bring a puffer jacket, you'll be too hot. So I didn't bring one. I'm wearing Chad's now, and it is like way chillier than I thought. Those blog posts were wrong. So hear it from us, wear warm clothes. We have made it to Cesada. If you don't know what this place is, it is this $1 million view that is right behind me. It kind of looks like this plateau that's tilted at an angle and it's just jutting out of the earth, shooting straight towards the sky. Very, very impressive. But I must say, one of my first impressions of the Dolomites altogether is the grass. I didn't think it would be, but like looking out anywhere that isn't filled with trees or with rocks, it's just this beautiful rolling green grass that I just can't get out of my head because it's perfectly maintained, perfectly trimmed, and it just makes the place look so beautiful. We have made it to the slopes of Cesada, and Chad and I were actually just talking, and he was saying that it'd be super cool if we came back to the Dolomites for every season. Yeah. And I love that idea because I saw some pictures of it during the autumn time, and it's just glowing with color, and I definitely would like to see that.
I feel like my favorite season that I'd love to see is the winter, because I'm just imagining us in a little alpine cottage with our wood-burning stove with like a cup of coffee, and we're all bundled up as it's snowing outside. I just think that'd be so fun to come back and experience.
Yeah, and I've never been skiing or snowboarding before. And
I really want to do that.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of 2021, I was saying like that's a bucket list item of mine. I still haven't done it yet, so
maybe this winter we'll come back.
Really?
Probably
That's
not. Well guys, we've made it back to the gondola ride for the ride back down, but I think we're gonna end the video for the day here, and we'll see you guys for day 2 in the Dolomites.
Buongiorno! We've woken up at 4 a.m. and I'm wearing every single piece of warm clothing I packed with me in my carry-on because we learned our lesson and we are staying warm today. And currently we are in Santa Magdalena and starting our very first hike. It was like a couple days ago, I was asking Chad, like, what do you want to do in the Dolomites? He Googled Dolomites and this beautiful, stunning picture of the mountains with this beautiful church in the foreground came up. He's like, this is what I want to see. And so that is where we're going right now. I believe it's like a mile hike. Although it says on Google Maps that you can drive right up, and there is a road that takes you straight to that beautiful spot, there's no parking up there, and you would be parking on someone's private property, and you may encounter a very upset Italian, Austrian, German, not sure, dairy farmer who speaks lots of languages and knows how to say no parking in all those languages.
Yeah, so we paid for parking down in the parking lot and it cost about €4. Not too bad, especially because this view is going to be incredible. Well, my friends, this is the view we have all been waiting for. It looks even better in person, obviously, and as the sun continues to rise, it's casting more and more light onto those mountains, and it's like this glorious glow, and the air is extremely fresh here as well.
Yeah, and all you can hear is a babbling brook in the distance, and this is probably the definition of pure serenity right here in this moment.
Just want to eat it up.
Yeah, soak it in, absorb it, and keep it forever. But the thing is, we haven't made a video of us in the great outdoors in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like how we started our channel, like living in the van and just going from national park to national park. So I think this is something we like really miss.
I miss so much.
I love jumping from city to city and trying all the foods, soaking up that culture, but like sometimes just being in the outdoors, not needing to recite any history and just like be here with the earth and the fresh air and the greenery.
So we've driven about an hour and a half, and I think we've made it into the main section of the Dolomites because we just drove past this huge sign that said Dolomites, UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we started to pass by this like steaming lake. I thought it was very interesting, so I decided to pull over. But I love how half of the lake is lit up and then the other half is like in this darkness, and this steam is like traveling across. And there are like these two fishermen wading in the water. Just a very beautiful scene. So a slight change of plans. We are now at the city of Mizrina, and the road that we were trying to take is actually closed because the parking lot up at the top of the mountain is completely full. So something we didn't realize while we were planning is that this is like peak Dolomite season. There are lots of people here. All of the parking lots are full. So what we've decided to do, we just ate lunch and we're taking a little stroll around this lake, which is absolutely beautiful. You have mountains on all sides. There's this really cool lodge that really reminds me of like Wes Anderson or something. But we're gonna take our time because I believe later this afternoon a lot of people will clear out and we'll be able to drive up the mountain and get a parking spot so we can kind of continue on with our original plans.
Say 30 euro, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have finally made it to the Cime Park area. And I say finally because it did take ages to make it here. So after the gates opened for cars to come back up into this area, Chad patiently waited in line for over an hour or so, just sitting at the wheel waiting for the line to slowly move forward while I took a nap. And we paid the €30 entrance fee to enter. We got in, found out you actually have to pay a little more cash to use the bathroom, and so we did. We are now ready for our hike, and this hike we're about to go to, I believe, is going to give us 360 views of the area, and it's going to have a little bit of elevation, but it shouldn't take too long to make it to the end.
Update, we have made it probably over a mile, I would say, from the refugio up on the hill. We walked down and back up. The views are incredible. We're starting to see the other side of the mountains over here. So I just flipped the camera around and this is what the other side looks like. These mountains look extremely jagged and sharp, and honestly it reminds me of where a villain's lair would be. Somewhere in between the rocks, and there'd be like bats coming out of a cave. Claire's holding up pretty well.
I always hold up well.
Now on to the moment we have all been waiting for. Claire?
Yesterday, Chad went to the grocery store. He's like, I bought you a whole bag of treats. And I like peeked and he's like, no, you weren't supposed to look. But I saw the Toblerone bar and I got so excited. We've been waiting until this moment to eat it. So let us have a little snack to celebrate our long, or it's not even that long of a hike, but to celebrate being in Italy.
Yes. With some Swiss chocolate. I thought you were like, have the first bite. No, just
I didn't
feed
want
me
to
the
touch
first.
the chocolate. We have made it back to the parking lot and we are now on to our fourth trail of the day.
Our final hike, it does look a little bit flatter, but I'm pretty excited for this one because it's like the iconic hike to do here. So we've already been walking for probably 20 minutes and I believe the church is the halfway point. And time is honestly flying by. This hike is a lot easier than the last one. It's very flat, so Claire and I are just having nice conversation as we tra-la-la along this path. So I think I spoke too soon because the trail has definitely gotten a lot hillier, very out of breath. Views are getting even better though as we go up.
So while we were hiking the entire trail, I did not realize that we were hiking alongside the things that we would be seeing at the end of the trail. And so when we got here, I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I recognize you.
yeah, it's like we saw that the whole way here. But we are sitting in front of the three big, beautiful, majestic spires.
And I was actually just flying the drone and it was wild to see just how small we are, because I was trying to get a shot, and typically I'll do like a 360 around an object, but I could not even get around these objects just because they're so big and massive. And I feel like today as we were hiking, I just have felt like an ant because it's so vast, you can see so far. And it's just been a good perspective change. But as we wrap up this video, we wanted to take a second and fill you guys in on some of the behind the scenes that have been happening in our lives. We actually almost scrapped the entire Dolomites video just because we have been feeling so fatigued tired. That's like a simple way to put it. We've just been so exhausted.
Yeah, we've been very under the weather. And I just think that all the traveling, all the working, the editing, it's nonstop. Yeah, and it kind of caught up with us. And after Cesada, we really just had to listen to our bodies and kind of go home and rest. And we were supposed to be here for 3 days. We ended up just doing Cesada, which is kind of like a half day, and today a full day. So it was cutting our time here a little bit short, so we didn't get to see everything that we wanted to see. And I think that a lot of the times as creators, as people who care so much about making these videos for you guys, it's hard for us to warrant a sick day to just, you know, stay home and not go and explore, especially when we're in such a beautiful place that we've spent months planning. And this is like one of
our money towards. Like we have probably over $1,000 for just being here.
And it's like one of our biggest bucket list destinations. But we really did just have to make sure that we actually felt good being here, that we could hike. And so we took 1 day off and we decided to start early today. I'm actually pretty surprised that I even made it to, I think it's 6 o'clock right now. We started at 4 a.m. So it's been 14 hours. I'm just really proud of us both for pulling it together, still seeing this place that we've dreamed of seeing. And of course, we're going to have to come back because we've only touched the Dolomites. There's so much more to do. So after a very long day of so much hiking, I think a nice, delicious meal is well deserved. So we have come to this cute little eatery that Chad found. It was 25 minutes from where we just were. And it's kind of like German and Italian cuisine mixed together. The servers are wearing the cutest outfits, and we've ordered some wonderful food. Just kick it off with some drinks. Throughout this entire meal, Chad and I didn't say like a single word to each other. We just stared off into space and ate everything.
Everything. Claire is now gonna finish all the bread.
Not all the bread. We waited a solid like 25 minutes for this because I think they forgot. But now that it's here, I'm so excited. It's nice and hot. Even the plate is hot. I'm not really sure what it is, but I know it's homemade. It looks like there's bread on the outside, jam on the inside, and some like yellow custard drizzled all over the plate. We just finished up dinner and we highly, highly recommend that place. The service was outstanding and we just had such a good time. But I do think we need to end the video here because it is 9 o'clock. We've been up for who knows how long and we still have an hour and a half to drive back to Bolzano, which is where our Airbnb is. So thank you so much for joining us here in the Dolomites. If you want to follow along on our 50 country goal, hit subscribe, and a huge shout out to our patrons for being the biggest rock stars out there. Thank you for supporting what we do. With that, I guess we'll say ciao. See you next time.